Hello, this is the TradeSight U.S. Stocks and Futures Market Preview and Domestic Data Roadmap for Economic Data coming out for the week beginning Monday, the 31st of March 2014, ending Friday the 4th. Hope you had a good trading week. We certainly did have a good couple of sessions there, although the market action wasn't all that exciting. We'll review that here now. We'll look at the daily charts of some of the key indices and stocks, and then we'll look at some of the what the market did during the week, and then we'll take a look at the economic data that we're expecting in the week ahead. So here's the S&P 500 index. Boy, just sideways for the last month. I mean, 40-point range, even though it covered it a couple times basically in one day, it's essentially trapped in a 40-point range since this time in February. So that is overall a fairly flat month. Glad to see the volume we've been having, because at least it gives us opportunities on the individual stocks, but the index itself has been flat. Nasdaq side's a little more volatile. You can see the rollover here. You now have a nice cup forming, and you can see this red static trend line that we're heading back towards on the NDX. Here's the SOX holding up closer to highs. Hasn't rolled over as much as the Nasdaq side. Meanwhile, the biotechs, as go banks and biotechs, so goes the market, and the biotechs are leading the way down here. That's helping push the Nasdaq side down. Wanted to mention volume real quick here on the Nasdaq side. This is why I have the 10-day moving average up. Again, for the year, since we got past last Christmas season, volume did come up. The 10-day moving average moved quickly. Volume got right back above 2 billion shares on the Nasdaq. And I'd say more than half the days this year we've had above 2 billion shares. It was weird the prior week to this last one. We talked about how 4 of the 5 days volume dropped off, and the one that didn't was the actual triple expiration day, where you obviously get some extra volume way up here. But the 4 days before that, volume had dropped off, and I was hoping it wasn't the start of anything. And it appears that it was not. We had good volume all week this week, 2.1 to 2.3 billion shares the first 4 days. Dropped off Friday a bit, but that's not it's not unusual. So the average is staying and holding above the 2 billion share a day, which is way better than anything we saw last year. Never got above it. Look at Apple, cup and handle for me here on the Apple between two key static trend lines. Of course, the seeker count's got us at 10, so push up a little bit, you'll get your 11, 12, 13 and your sell signal on the Apple. Here's a look at Google. Came off a bit this week as they're doing this big swap of shares into multiple symbols and all sorts of craziness. We'll see what that ends up netting out for Google in the long run. Amazon looking lower this week, cracking some key support level at the 340 area, though it came back up a bit on Friday. Tesla also came back. Look at that. Found support right at that static trend line. That is remarkable as well. Netflix also selling off. So the bigger tech stocks definitely coming in a bit here this last week. Here's a look at the ES. This is actually with levels, which I'm actually going to remove for purposes of showing you this. It doesn't really help. So here's the ES for the week in 10-minute bars with just the Comer. Note that on the 10-minute we never really got a 13 signal all week. The total range for the week is 35 points. Covered that Wednesday straight down to the close mostly, a little bit of Thursday, the opening bar or two, and then reversed back up. But yeah, Monday gapped up, filled the gap, sold off. We had a good Monday, really nice day Monday. Tuesday gapped up and filled the gap. Wednesday gapped up and filled the gap and sold off more. Thursday, flat opening, shot down, rebounded, closed about flat. That was a pretty boring second half. Friday gapped up and actually did not fill the gap. You notice we found support at the static trend line. And the key here is that Monday is the last day of the quarter, as I said last night. So usually a flat session as the last 2 sessions or so of the quarter. They've got the prices pretty much pegged to where they want them. A little bit of movement on these tech stocks, which is surprising. But overall, I don't think we're going very far Monday. We'll talk about that again in a moment. Here's the Nasdaq side. Same general pattern, of course, although it did fill its gap on Friday. So no gaps left from this week on the Nasdaq side. Let's take a quick look at oil. This is the crude oil futures contract. Up this week, back near 101.5. Actually broke 102 early on Friday. Big gaps though. All right, let's take a look now at the economic data coming out this week and get our plan together for what we're going to be looking for. Monday, the Chicago PMI data, 15 minutes into the market. I can move the market. Let's keep an eye on that. But keep in mind, Monday is end of quarter again. So I would expect not a big deal on Monday. Tuesday, ISM index, construction spending. In the afternoon, we've got auto and truck sales. ISM index is 30 minutes in. First day of the new quarter, could definitely see some action on Tuesday. Remember, a lot of times when a new quarter starts, it's like boom, all of a sudden, one big direction. They've been pent up demand either to sell or to buy, and they've been holding off to get those statements printed. That's literally how it works. So we'll see what happens on Tuesday, especially. Wednesday, MBA mortgage index, ADP employment change, factory orders, crude oil inventories. Factory orders can move the market a little bit 30 minutes in. Thursday, the weekly jobless claims data and trade balance is a big one. That could cause a gap. And then 30 minutes in, we have ISM services and then natty gas an hour into the market on Thursday. Friday, the big deal, of course, is the unemployment data. That's a big one that can cause a gap as well and some action early. Obviously, Friday is Friday. We could sell off. I mean, we could slow down a bit in the afternoon. People take off. But so overall, I would expect Monday to be not too terribly exciting. I think Tuesday is a big opportunity. I think there's enough data Wednesday and especially Thursday. We could have a really nice week here in terms of moving us around. We're a couple weeks away now from re-entering, believe it or not, core earnings season as we're going to hit those first quarter earnings. You could get some warnings here sooner. If there are any to be had, be aware of that. Otherwise, we'll just call it as we see it in the trading lab. Hope to see you in there so we can help you